Hey guys, welcome to the demo session for the new batch that we are going to start. I hope you guys are able to see my screen, right? Can anyone confirm?
Yeah, we are able
Yes,
to.
it is visible.
Good. Okay, so as we all know, we are here to learn Selenium with Java. So with this course, we are going to cover all the important aspect of Selenium, Java, and everything. So before I go into the details of course content and before I explain you what we are going to learn here, let me briefly talk about myself and my experience. So my name is Abhigya, uh, and I have almost 14 years of IT experience, all into QA and automation. And I have experience in teaching as well. So I've been associated with way to automation since 2016-17. Since then, I'm taking classes. So if you have gone through the core Java sessions, those core Java sessions have been taken by me, and I have also taken API sessions here in way to automation, Selenium with C Sharp, APM with Java, and the last Selenium batch that has happened, that finished, that completed yesterday. That session also was taken by me. So I will be your trainer for this whole course. And if I talk about my working experience, I have very good exposure to automation, whereas for the last almost 9-10 years, I have working as an automation engineer. I have worked on Selenium with Java, with Python, with C Sharp. I have experience in API automation using REST Assured, Postman. I have experience with WebDriver IO. I have experience in APM with Java, APM with TypeScript, WebDriver with TypeScript. I have experience in Playwright. So all these tools have been worked upon till now. Uh, and I have good exposure to many DevOps tools as well, infrastructure setup as well, because I'm working as a automation lead in my current company, wherein I'm handling like good number of folks under me. So I have exposure. I know the real world, how and what kind of challenges you'll be facing in upcoming days, whether you want to switch to a new company or you want to start working as an automation engineer. I know the challenges, how we can overcome those challenges, and what are the basic things that we need to understand. So, uh, let me first cover the course curriculum, what we are going to learn here, and then you can ask your questions. Today, there will be no practical thing, like we will be discussing only what we are going to cover here, how we are going to cover the course, my teaching way of teaching, how we are going to proceed with the sessions. So if I talk about, what we are going to cover in this course, so we will be covering first of all core Java. Okay. So the main thing that we are going to learn is core Java initially. And under core Java, we are going to cover like setup part, like data types, and then object, I will say class and objects, then control statements, then arrays, then oops. Now under oops, we will be covering everything like encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, and other important things as well. Like we are going to talk about this keyword, super keyword, you know, constructor, and everything that is required to begin with Selenium. Then we will be covering things like collections, file handling, string class, which is very important. We will be covering about exception handling. So all these things we will be covering during the core Java sessions. Okay. Now all the things that are important in order. He wants to ask something. Amit is asking company name now. I cannot disclose my company name, but it is a kind of startup, not like we are almost stable, but it is a kind of US based startup company or e-commerce company where I'm working right now. So we will be covering everything which is required to begin with working as a automation engineer. Now understand one thing. If I ask you one thing, what is Selenium? So can anyone tell me what is Selenium? Anyone, whatever you know. I want to explain why these things are much important than Selenium. So can anyone tell me what is Selenium? Anyone?
It
Collection
is a tool.
database.
It is a tool.
Collection
Yes.
database.
Mm-hmm.
Software testing tool.
Okay.
Hi Adit, I'm at this side.
Yes, tell.
And first of all, greetings of the day to you.
Hmm.
And I think Selenium is one of a language through which we can automate the web applications.
Hmm.
It is one of a language basically through which we can automate the web applications. Along with this, it is integrated with some of the languages just like Java, Python, C Sharp, TypeScript.
Mm-hmm.
So it is basically it is an automation language. We can say that.
So Selenium automates browser. It's not a language, first of all. Okay. Selenium is an API or it is a library, you can say both are same, which automates browser. It's not a language. We use programming language in order to use Selenium to automate browsers. And if you go to the website, says the same thing. Selenium automates browser. That's it. And it supports multiple language also. Like if I go to downloads, you can see that Selenium provides multiple language bindings. Like it supports .NET, it supports Ruby, it supports Java, it supports JavaScript and Python. So you can use any of these languages in order to use Selenium to automate the browser, to automate your web application. But ultimately, it's not a kind of record and play kind of thing. No, this is not a tool where you can record the things and you can just play it. No, you will have to write code. Correct. And when you write code, you will have to choose one of the programming language which is supported by Selenium. Either you'll be using Python or .NET or JavaScript or Java or any language, whatever you want to choose. So you will have to use a programming language in order to use Selenium so that you can automate your web application. Correct. So ultimately, we will have to write code. And when we want to write code, we should know at least one of the programming language pretty well. We should be confident enough to feel that yes, I can automate using Selenium. And you should be comfortable enough with at least one of the programming language. And here we are choosing core Java as the programming language. And that's why, so what I suggest to all of my student every time that coding skills are more important than learning Selenium. Like here, because we are using Selenium with Java, I would say Java is much more important than Selenium. Selenium is nothing. Very few classes are there, very few methods are there, which we can use and we can automate any web application. Very few. 5, 6 important classes are there. Hardly 10, 15 methods are there. Those 10, 15 methods and 5, 6 classes are sufficient to automate any web application. But in order to use those things properly, we should have a good knowledge of a programming language so that just we are not just doing the basic stuff using Selenium. We are able to create framework on our own, or we are able to maintain an existing framework. So ultimately, when you will be working on Selenium, you'll have to work on a framework. Whether the framework is already existing or you have been asked to create a framework, you should be comfortable in both. And for that matter, I would suggest that until we are done with core Java sessions, your mindset should be that you are here to learn Java. You are here just to learn Java initially. Don't focus on Selenium. If your goal will be to learn Java, believe me, once if you are comfortable with Java, you are able to write code, you are able to understand OOPS concept, you are able to implement OOPS concept properly. Believe me, Selenium is very easy. It is very easy. So that's why your focus should be more on learning Java here. Whatever exercise I will be giving you, whatever source I will be providing, I will be providing you some PDF, some good books, some good website where you can practice the programming, like Java programs you can solve there. If you follow those steps, at the end of the session, when we are done with everything that I have written here, you will be very comfortable and Selenium will be very easy. So as I've told you, once we are done with core Java session, then we will start with Selenium basics. And in Selenium basics, we'll cover everything. Okay, we will cover everything like how to create like driver object, how to handle things like click and type and scroll and many basic things, whatever is required to be done. Like if I go, can you be on mute, please? Like if I open any website, let's say way to automation, or let's say I'm going to Amazon.com, say, okay. So I can automate everything, can do and on a website, what all can we do? We'll have to click on something, we'll have to type on something, we'll have to search for something, we'll have to scroll, we'll have to move from one window to other window. Everything will be covering in basics. So all the Selenium's basics will be covered, like scrolling, window handling, okay. And then uh, everything will be covered. And once Selenium basics are done, we will be working on TestNG basics, wherein I will be covering everything related to TestNG, whatever is required. And once we are done with TestNG, we will start with creating hybrid framework from scratch, line by line. And this will be a kind of data-driven plus page object model based hybrid framework. Okay. And once we are done with, and when we'll be creating framework, we will be supporting like sequential execution or parallel execution, both we will be handling. And once this is done, we will be talking about Selenium Grid. We will be talking about Jenkins. We will be talking about integrating Jenkins with GitHub. We will be talking about Docker. And these are the things that we will be covering. And each and everything is important, whether you have 2 years of experience, 5 years of experience, or 10 years of experience. Whether you want to switch into your new company or in your existing company, you have to work on automation. All these things will help you to get ready for whatever you want to do. Is that okay? So any question you want to ask, please ask.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
As I have never worked before on automation, right? And you mentioned here the hybrid framework, we will create hybrid framework from scratch. So I don't
Hmm.
know what is data-driven framework. I don't know what is page object model, right?
Hmm.
So do we need to first understand like how I will be able to directly understand hybrid framework, you know what I'm trying to say? Like the hybrid framework will consist both data driven and page object model. The person who don't know these two different models, how I will be able to understand hybrid framework directly?
So it's my job to make you understand those things. This is seems to be complex thing, but this is very simple. Data driven means whatever test data I need, I will be getting those test data from external file, and I'll be ingesting those data to my test cases. That is known as data driven frame. And when I say page object model, I will be following this page object model design pattern to make my framework like easy to read and easy to maintain. So don't worry about these things. This is very simple. And I will be going step by step. I'll not be jumping directly into creating the framework now. I will be
Okay.
creating so my approach will be bottom to top. Like I will be creating a simple test case. And once we are done with test case, then we will enhance and then we will start creating the framework. That why we need to create a framework. Why we need to it is important to have a setup class or base class or utility method, or why we need some driver manager, why we need reporting, why we need property file, why we need to have separate classes for individual things to perform. Okay, why we need to use data driven framework. Now what is the benefit of page object model? So everything will be done step by step. Don't worry about that. It's my job to make you guys understand what is this. And it
Okay.
is not that complex. But again, if your oops concepts are clear, then you will be able to work on framework very easily. Because ultimately, when we are creating a framework, all the Java concepts will be used. Everything, static class, not static class, static variable will use. Now, if you don't understand the like why we use static variable, what is the purpose of static variable, what is the feature of static variable, you will not be understanding anything in the framework. Let's say I want to create a method which should return something. So if you don't know how to return a value from a method, how will you create a framework? If you don't know how to implement encapsulation, how to implement inheritance, like what is this keyword or what is super keyword, what is the purpose of constructor? So ultimately, see, Selenium is very small thing. Ultimately, everything is coding. And for that matter, what I'm saying is you just focus first of all on the Java part. And once you are comfortable with Java, believe me, Selenium is very simple. Creating framework is not that difficult. It's initially will take some more effort, wherein you will find like when you will start working on framework on your own, you will find it difficult. But when you try creating the framework multiple times on your own, you will on yourself will understand like how I can further enhance the framework that was taught to me in this particular course. So that's why focus more on understanding the programming language, because ultimately you'll have to write code for everything. Okay. What about reports? Yes, Amit, we will be creating a report. Okay. So report is, see, a report is the ultimate thing that is required in any framework. Like at the end of the execution of your test cases, if you are not creating a report, you are not sharing the report to the stakeholders, then there is no point of having automation. So ultimately report is important, and we will be creating report, very good report. Like if I show you this kind of report we will be creating. This is a sample report. So I'll be creating a report like this where everything will be logged properly. If anything is failed, we will be capturing screenshots also. The screenshot will be attached to the report. Everything will be there. So reporting is ultimately that we will be doing that also. Any other question?
Are we covering any API automation there, Abhijit?
No, API automation will not be part of this course.
Okay, because since you have mentioned about Java, right? I was thinking whether rest assured will be covered.
No, rest assured, we are starting a new batch.
Okay,
That the demo for that is on next Saturday, but that will be a separate course.
okay, thank you.
So this course is only for Selenium with Java. We are not covering API automation in this particular course. Any other question?
So
Do we
how long is the course, and is the classes gonna be on Saturday, Sundays, or Sundays only?
No. So course will be at least 3 months because I'll be covering many things in detail. So 3 months is minimum required. And the classes will be on Saturday, Sunday, both.
Okay.
And the timing will be disclosed, like Rahul Arora will share the timing over email, I think. So timing I'll let you know by tomorrow. But the classes will be on Saturday and Sunday, and minimum we'll try to wrap up by 3 months. But 3 months is sufficient to cover everything.
Right. And do we need to know anything about the manual testing or something
See, if you are
for
a
this course?
tester, see, manual stuff you should know. Like you should know how we perform testing. Okay, even if you want to work as an automation engineer, basics of testing should be known to you, like how we create test cases. Because ultimately you will be automating based on some test cases that you'll have. If you don't have test cases available, what will you automate? We don't just write script to do some stuff. No, our test script will be based on some test cases, manual test cases. Means there will be a manual test case which I will be automating to. So basics of manual testing should be known. Because if you go to any interview, testing questions will be there. Even if the opening is for automation, basic questions related to testing will be asked. So better to go with go for the understanding the basics of testing is good to have.
All right, thank you.
Nilesh is asking, do we need basic knowledge of Java? Of course, like you should know at least few things, but anyway, I will be covering things in detail. Even if you don't know Java, it's okay. I will make you understand about Java, the basics and everything. But in order to work on Selenium, in order to create a framework, we should know Java. Okay. Any question?
So, how much importance you will give on the Java exercise, right? I understood you are going to cover all the Java concepts.
Hmm.
So, how can we make sure? So, will you give us enough exercise, or
See,
is-
I will be giving few exercises during classes. I will be providing some books, some PDF
okay?
notes, and there are few very good websites where you can practice the Java coding skills. I will be, providing all those things to you. Ultimately, it's up to you how much you are putting your effort, to be honest, right? If you
Yes.
want to improve yourself, at least you should be focused at least for 3 months, so that at the end of the 3 month you will be very confident, believe me. So things will be provided to you, but it's ultimately your choice how much effort you're putting in. Okay. Any other questions?
Do we have anything related to browser stack Sauce Labs? Because I could see in the site website whatever you were shown, right? Is there any integration you will be there giving Abhijit?
No, I'll be not covering that, but I think in Way to Automation website already, I think Rahul sir has covered browser stack and Lambda test. But that will not be part of this course, integrating to browser stack or Lambda test. But I think if I go to website, just give me a minute. I think I'll have to check with Rahul sir whether we have course related to Lambda test or not. But I can provide you good resource, but those things will not be covered during the course.
Okay.
So if I show you like what kind of framework we'll be creating, so this is a sample framework that you can see here, where we'll be creating setup class, page objects class, listeners will be there, utilities will be there, property file handling will be there, test cases will be there, we'll be capturing screenshots also. Okay, we'll be creating reports, we'll have test ng which we'll understand properly. We will be running our test cases locally, on cloud, on Docker image, using Maven command, and everything we will be integrating to. Okay, so things like driver manager. Now, initially, if I show you this code right now, you will find this might seems to be confusing to you. But ultimately, when we will be starting, I will not be creating these utilities, this setup class, these listeners class directly. No, I will first create a test case wherein everything will be written in the test case. And I will create multiple more test case. And then we will understand the drawback if I write everything in a test case, what will be the issue. Then we will understand, okay, why, then we will understand the need of framework, why we need base test, why we need util classes, all those things. So as I've told you again, the approach will be bottom to top, not top to top. But like I've seen many trainers available on YouTube and Udemy who just starts creating base tests. They just starts creating utilities. I'm not going to follow that approach. My approach will be rather make you understand the need of creating these kind of things so that you yourself will understand the need, and during interview also you'll be able to explain like why we need test setup class, why driver manager is required, how we do parallel execution, everything. So things will be step by step. Okay, any other question? Nobody have any questions? Okay, if I ask you one thing, I think there are 15 how many of you are like have joined recently? Like this is the first course to you with wave automation. How many guys are there? Like, or you have already attended some sessions here in Vito automation, or this is the first time you are attending a session with Vito automation?
Mm,
Yeah,
live.
Yes, first time. So few people are there who had like for them this is the first course. So what I will suggest you is follow the instructions whatever I'll be giving you during the sessions. And if you want to understand my way of teaching, because anyway we'll be starting with Selenium from next Sunday. Next Saturday I'll be taking a rest assured basically API automation demo session, and from Sunday we'll be starting the core Java sessions for this batch. So if you want to understand like how I teach, you can just search for this core Java, and core Java. I think this is my 1 minute. I'm not sure this is my one or yes. So what you can do, guys, I am sharing this course. Okay. You go through this videos and understand how I teach. I'll just share this. You can search for Core Java and you will see this free Core Java detailed tutorial for automation. Go through these videos. You will understand my way of teaching. Okay, and that will give you confidence about my like whatever we are going to cover. So I'm sharing this on chat here on Zoom chat. You can just yeah, you can go through this code like tutorial and try to go with at least 2 3 videos. You will understand how I am going to cover the classes here. So my focus will be to make you guys comfortable. Speed will be as per your understanding. Content will be very detailed, very basics. And I will be giving you a good exercises also, which if you follow and you try to complete those assignments, believe me, Selenium is very simple. Automation is not that difficult. The only difficult that thing is people don't love to write code. So if you love to write code, believe me, Selenium and automation is very simple. Okay. These are very simple libraries where we have very limited number of class, very limited number of methods. We just need to understand how to write a better code, how to create a better framework, how to make the framework robust, how to make the framework scalable, so that if number of test cases are increasing, the requirement is increasing, the requirement is getting complex, our framework should scale in that kind of thing. So those things will come once you are comfortable with writing code, you understand the basic fundamental of oops concept, then things will be very easy for you. Okay. And as I've shared the link also for my core Java videos, you just go through the videos and try to understand my speed and my way of teaching. That will give you definitely that will give you very good confidence before coming to next session. And one humble request that I have with everyone, before we are starting Selenium, please make sure that you are coming into the class with a mentality that I want to learn core Java and I want to improve my coding skills. If that is your intent, believe me, this is very simple. And don't worry if you are not confident with writing codes, you are not confident with Java. That is my job to make you guys understand the things. But ultimately, something which you'll have to put is practice. You'll have to practice more initially to make yourself confident with writing codes. Is that okay? And you should not stop here only. Selenium is the first step in automation world. Like if you don't know Selenium, you know nothing. That's how the perception is right now. So ultimately, see, your goal should be to learn one web automation tool, then one mobile automation tool, API automation, and Git, Jenkins, CI/CD, Docker, AWS basics. These things you should know. Now, one day you cannot learn everything. These things will take time. Okay, have a target. Like in every 4 months, I want to learn one new thing. Okay, so if you have the target of 4 months, in 1 year, you will learn 3 new things. Now, what you want to learn, you can choose. Let's say after web automation, you want to learn mobile automation or you want to learn API automation. Every course is there in like here. You can find all the course in Way2 Automation portal. But what I'm suggesting you guys to have some target, like in every 4 month or in every 3 month or in every 6 month, I want to learn a new tool or a new programming language I want to learn. So you should have a proper target. and you should have a proper roadmap that how you can become as that independent as that guy. So things are simple, you just have to put effort, and you should have a proper plan. Okay, don't get confused. Don't look for many these sources that you are you're going on YouTube, you're searching 10 channels, you are learning nothing. So focus on one channel or this course only. Whatever I'm teaching you, focus on that thing. Try to create your framework on your own for 2 3 times. Gain some understanding, gain some confidence, and then you can choose another tool and you can start learning that. So that's how you should approach, and take 1 year at least to make yourself confident. Because if you know these things, then very well. But if you want to learn these things, you will have to be patient and you'll have to be consistent. Okay. So I will be guiding you throughout the session. After the session, also, you can be connected to me over WhatsApp group. You can ask your doubt, you can take my guidance. Okay. And you can learn, and I can help you to learn things. But don't stop in between. Like if you are, let's say you are initially you feel that I'm not, like I am getting some doubts, or it is not that simple. Believe me, initially you might feel that this is difficult, but the more you will practice, the coding will be seems to be very easy to you. And then you can go to other tool and you can start learning other tool. Okay. So that's how you should approach. Like if I talk about my experience, for initial 3 years of my experience, I was working as a complete manual tester. And then I started learning Selenium. Okay. And in 2014, I learned Selenium here in V2 Automation itself. And from 2014 till now, I have learned many things on my own. Okay. So you can learn everything provided you should be consistent. And as I've told you, at least get good with one programming language. One programming language. Then you can, like, initially I worked on Java, then I had to move to Python, then I had to move to C Sharp. Currently in my organization, I'm working on TypeScript. So I just have to learn the syntax. That's it. I will not have to learn coding. I will not have to learn OOPS concept. Everything I know. The only thing I'll have to know is how the syntax look like in TypeScript, how it is different from Java, how Python is different. There will be some syntax changes. Those things are very easy to learn. Okay. So that's how you should proceed. I have shared my Java course link in the channel. You can, okay, I'll share it again. Somebody is asking, I have a question. I have 5 years in manual testing. If we complete this course, we get a job as an automation tester. You can get a job. Provided you learn everything, like framework setup, you should know. Okay. And I'll be providing you interview questions also, which you can follow. And this will be sufficient enough to get a new job. If you have only 5 years of experience, then you can get a job easily. Any doubt, any questions you want to ask? No questions? Can we tell we have experience in automation for 5 years? Don't tell 5 years experience. Tell 2 3 years experience. That is sufficient. If you are confident that you will be able to answer things, see, 5 years of experience, they will be asking you that can you create a framework on your own from scratch? Can you work on Git? Can you set up the CI/CD pipeline? All those things. If you are comfortable, you have confidence, then you can tell. Or just say 2 3 years of experience in automation. Will you create new WhatsApp group? I think Rahul Arora sir will create a group, and he will add you to that group. So I will ask him to create a group. Okay. But put your effort, practice, that is at most important. And with practice, we can do everything. Now, is there anyone who has worked on development side here? Anyone here available who has worked on development? Anyone? Okay, can I ask like this? Anyone here who thinks development is a difficult job as compared to testing? Be honest, don't worry about like what other is thinking. Do you think that development is a difficult job as compared to testing? And that's why you are into testing. Yes. Okay. Why we are not doing development work? Why we are not a developer? Why we are a tester here? So I will tell you one, interesting thing. I have seen few people who are very passionate about testing, and that's why they are into testing. And there are many people who are afraid of writing code. That's why they move into coding. But do you know the difference between us and developer? The only difference is their mindset. We are doing testing because we did not like, I'm telling you my perspective. My perspective was that I was afraid of writing code. Now I don't afraid. Okay, I can see a PR of any of my developer there are many, there have been many instances where just by looking at the PR, I have raised bug. Because now I understand everything. I can write code, I can develop things. I have done those things in past. Currently, I'm just handling automation, but it's just the mindset. Okay, and don't afraid of anything. Coding is not that difficult. It's just that we are afraid of writing code, and we did not got good guidance to learn those things. I will be giving you good guidance. I will be teaching you those things. Okay, so just come with a fresh, open mind to learn. If you want to learn, you want to improve yourself, definitely you'll be able to do whatever is required to become a good as data developer, engineer. Okay. Any other question? Anybody want to ask? Please ask. No questions?